We're talking daycares. We're talking transportation services. Insane.
Now we're being followed by the Somalis. This is another daycare center. Absolutely no signage, and there's no footprints in the snow of children playing outside.
Okay, so just to bring you on, he is going from daycare to daycare. These daycares that are saying that they are daycares funded by the federal government for refugee immigrant dollars, daycare subsidies in Minnesota, federal money. So he's going to these daycares to see, are they operational? If to what capacity? And while he's doing it, he's being trailed. He's being followed by a group of Somalian men.
$5 million within the past
5.9 million in 2 years. 5.9 million they received in 2 years. That facility right there.
And now we have a group of Somalis telling us in our vehicle right now.
From this daycare center, we headed over to the infamous Quality Learning Center, which actually spells Quality Leering Center on the outside of their sign. That's how blatant this fraud is here at this daycare.
Don't open up!
So this is Quality Leering Center. I meant to say Quality Learning Center.
Don't open up!
They said they spelt learning wrong.
Don't open up!
How do you have ice here, ma'am? I'm literally a YouTuber.
Don't open up!
Ma'am, what do you think about the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota?
Don't open up!
Man, this is so... You know why I like doing these topics? Because you meet the strangest, most interesting things and people. I like these weird topics. I like this type of stuff because you see how weird this is. You're standing in front of a business screaming, "Don't open up," to the people that's in there. ICE. Like this little skinny 125-pound little white boy is ICE. Don't open up. So, has politics made people so crazy and insane that they just do this stuff? And to me, I think that's it, right? It must be politics which you hold as your God, making it so weird. Because this is weird. Who does that? Who does that?
We have ice!
And what do you think about this place being licensed for 99 children
Don't open up!
and getting $4 million
Don't
over
open
the
up! It's ice!
$4 million in the last 2 years?
Go away!
What do you think about that?
Slotted for 99 children and $4 million. Wow. Total fraud, $19 million. What?
Are you in
Go
favor?
away!
Are you in favor of that?
Go away!
You know where
You're
the-
not welcome here!
Are you-
Shame on you!
Are you in favor of $1.9
Shame
million
on you!
going
It's ice!
illegally,
Don't open up!
fraudulently to this business that has Quality Learning Center but can't even spell learning right on the door?
Don't open up!
Ma'am, we are not ICE.
I don't care who you are, you don't belong here.
I belong here just like you belong here.
Don't open up! It's ice!
You do realize that there's supposed to be 99 children in here at this building, but there's no one here. This is a child daycare
Minnesota
center.
says 99 children. Paid $1.9 million this year in CCAP funding.
Look at how stupid her face looks. Look at that. She just looks stupid. She like, what the heck did I get my ass into?
Do you know where the children are? Were they kidnapped? They run away? Where are the children? This is state of Minnesota. Right here.
And who are you?
My name's Nick Shirley, ma'am.
And who are you with?
Nick Shirley. Nick Shirley on YouTube.
Yeah, so who are you with here?
Oh, he's just been doing some research investigating the fraud that's taking place here in Minnesota.
Yeah, I'm with Nick Shirley.
This lady, she's calling us ICE. We're just trying to put law and order back in the streets of the United States. Get rid of all the fraud. How deep is this fraud here inside of Minnesota?
It is far worse than anybody can imagine. You heard it's 7 to 10 billion and maybe more, and now the numbers have been revised and put out there publicly that they think it's more like 8 billion. How I got involved is that where my office is here in Minneapolis, I'm sort of in the heart of all of this fraud, and I would see these child care centers. I said, well, there aren't any kids there. It's the middle of the day, and all I see are a couple of guys standing out front smoking. And then I'd go by another daycare and I'd see the same thing. I said, well, where do these kids play? And so I started to go online and look, and I said, this place is licensed for 80 children. They had 0 children. Every time I went by there, they never had a single child there. Then I started to see all these transportation companies going around, and it was always a Somali driver. And I said, well, that's great. They're out there transportation, contributing, but they never had a passenger, never, ever once. And I said, well, what is all this transportation? What are they doing? So then I found out that in Minnesota, they have something called non-emergency medical transportation. So this is going to the dentist's office, therapy, whatever it might be. And I said, well, how many of these companies are there? And the research came back that there are 1,020 of them, and more than 800 of them are Somali owned. Nobody from the state of Minnesota ever cross-checks to see if any rides were ever actually provided. All they did was write the check.
And click right here to see what happens next.
Wow. So we're talking about billions now. First it started with SNAP. Then they went on to feeding those in need, or feeding the children. Now we're seeing daycares. And then he's actually beginning to show that it's not just daycares. Now we're into transportation businesses. So it looks like this is a whole web, a whole scheme of fraudulent businesses that are set up in order to drain money from the federal government through subsidies and different funding sources that you get from the government. See, this is why it makes fighting against and saying that this is something and painting these guys as being victims. This is, to me, when you have 800 transportation companies, when you've got hundreds of daycare centers that aren't full to the capacity that they're reporting, or even full at all. And when you take the stance that people are coming to persecute Somalians and attack the Muslim faith and make them the enemy, no, they made themselves the enemy of everything that is America, of all the giving, all of the love, the generosity, taxpayers, people that come in like you and me that pay our taxes and we're out there. They're taking fully advantage of it. So they're not the victims. Don't think that this is something that is and what's worse than this too is I can't live in denial that Tim Walz, that Ilhan Omar, that they had some level of consciousness. They were aware of what was taking place. Because you got to be aware. You can't be the governor and you can't be a congresswoman over a district and not be aware of some of the fraud things that are taking place, and especially for Ilhan Omar, for people that look just like her. People that look just like her, who I'm pretty sure reach out to her office or she's met and spoken to, have had interactions with, that show that they have these businesses, but clearly there's no activity taking place in them. And what's the worst part about this is it makes immigrants who come in and do the right thing, it makes them look bad. It really does. It makes the ones who come in and they came here and they can contribute to society and they actually add to society, it makes them look bad. It makes them look bad. Because now why would you want to even accept people from a country? And I'm not even saying that all Somalians are bad, but the reality of it is we're talking about 80% of the Somalians there, 85% that they're saying are naturalized or citizens, right? That within a population that more than 60% of them depend on the federal government for subsidies and aids. So yeah, it is crazy. So now you got to question and say, okay, now everybody depending on the federal government to be subsidized for aid, for assistance with SNAP, medical, welfare, you got to check them out too. Regardless of whatever anyone wants to say, because if you have businesses, we're talking about hundreds of transportation companies. We're talking about tons of of thousands, dozens and dozens of daycare centers that get upwards of $1 million, $2 million a year to take care of 999 kids, and they don't have one child? What do you think is going to look like when you start talking about welfare, SNAP benefits, and so forth? I would figure that every Black American that actually came up in the hood, that came up in the ghetto, that actually had to deal with getting, who moms or pops or people in them was on welfare, would be very upset. Because growing up back in the day when you had to deal with SNAP, when you had to deal with welfare, yeah, that wasn't something that everybody was talking about. We made jokes about welfare cheese, But now when you get out of the hood and you get out of that lifestyle and you're so far distant from it and you're thankful that God brought you out of it, you should have a level of frustration and anger towards these guys. You should. Who come in here and just for whatever reason, I know what reason, because the Democratic Party told them it was okay, or people looked at them being foreign immigrants and didn't want to offend them. And that's the same thing with some of you white people. Man, I tell you, brothers and sisters, just because you white, if it's wrong, it's wrong. It doesn't matter whether it's Black, Indian, Chinese, or even white. But to really come to that place and realize that these people have been massively defrauding the government, massively. I mean, they got more fraud than any hood or PJ or project or drug dealer. Billions. And you got to follow the money. And that's the rule. You follow the money. Where is the money at? Where's the money going to? And yeah, there should be concern, especially when you're talking about foreign nationals who get access to millions of dollars just because they are who they are. Does any of that money end up now in Somalia? One thing we know it didn't end up in was our system. We know that for a fact. We know for a fact that it did not end up anywhere in the United States outside of the houses they may have purchased, cars they may have bought. But I'm keeping an eye on it because this is billions of fraud, billions and billions. I would say, I wonder if this is probably the most massively fraud, the heaviest level of fraud that we've ever experienced when it comes to social services and systems. Man, I tell you. And we're just in the first year of Donald Trump. Just in the first year of Donald Trump, which is awesome. We got 3 more years to go. Imagine how much fraud we're going to figure out and find out in these next 3 years. Imagine how things are going to change. Some of y'all don't want to imagine it. That's your problem. Doesn't matter. But the fraud is real, yo. And I think they're going to probably do something about it. And Ilhan Omar, Tim Walz, imagine this guy ended up becoming VP. Would these stories ever get out? Nah, I don't think so.